We are travelling back 4 decades to the last time England played at the famed Azteca Stadium in Mexico City. Certainly really painful memories, I will say, evoked for the Three Lions, who lost a World Cup quarter-final against Diego Maradona's Argentina. This at the 1986 World Cup, that game featuring two of the most talked-about goals in football history, yet for very different reasons. Both scored by Maradona as the Albiceleste went on to win 2-1. The first was the infamous and so-called Hand of God goal, but then the second, just minutes later, dubbed the goal of the century, and both featured in a new book by Asif Burhan, The Other Side of the Hand of God, Argentina versus England, and the story of the World Cup's most controversial game ever played. Delighted to say Asif joining us now. Asif, many thanks for your time. Great to have you on. I spot your jersey there, your England shirt. Here's mine. Take a look at mine here. Thank you. Producer Will, courtesy of it. That is fantastic. I'm getting all nostalgic now. Thank you again for your time. Look, that occasion had such an impact, didn't it, on England, the country as a whole, the players, the fans. The country at large left devastated by the injustice of that first Maradona goal. How deep did those wounds run?
Yeah, so for the book, I spoke to 13 of the England squad, and although many of them went on to play Italian 90 and reach the semi-final, for a lot of them, that was their only shot at winning the World Cup. For a player like Glenn Hoddle, he never played a World Cup match after that game against Maradona and Argentina. So, I mean, it's one thing getting knocked out of a World Cup, but to feel like you've been cheated out of a World Cup, it must be something that lives with you forever.
Yeah, certainly so much fallout. It really was. I can remember watching the game. I can still visualize it very vividly indeed. So, okay, 4 minutes after the injustice of that goal came the goal of the century as Maradona weaved his magic. How much did that goal typify the genius Diego was as a player?
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of the goal that's always shown when people talk about Maradona, but you have to remember that the two goals can't be talked about in isolation. Without the first goal, he probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to score the second. And those two goals scored within 4 minutes of each other have always kind of symbolised what Maradona means to so many people. It's not just the genius, it's also the other side of him. And I don't think you can have one without the other.
So elaborate on that. Tell me more about what you mean when you allude to that.
So a lot of the England players I spoke to said that they were still in a state of confusion after the first goal. It was a very, very tight match, and not really. There wasn't a lot happening in the game until Maradona punched the first goal into the net. And we know that the first goal in a match is always very important, especially at World Cup level. And it was the fact that the England players felt like they were shocked and confused about what happened that left them slightly open, that allowed Maradona to slalom his way through the England defence to score the second.
Yeah, and just the impact on the country as well, because I know so many fans as well. So many fans were left devastated by that. Do you see this ahead of the game today on this Sunday? Do you see that as sort of a revenge mission of sort for the current generation of players?
I mean, I don't think I know none of them were born when this match took place. So it's more in the eyes of the fans and the journalists who kind of lived through it at the time. I mean, the Azteca Stadium would be an incredible place to play with or without what happened in 1986. But I know for a lot of the fans who will have maybe grown up like me watching Maradona score those goals against England, there will be a case of putting right or wrong tonight.
All right, well, we're going to leave it there. We thank you so much for joining us, Asif. Thank you for your insights as well, and we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.